I'm going to talk to you about my addiction to security, how I became addicted. I am a software engineer at Orion. Security is not my day job, although it should be everybody's day job, especially if you're a developer like me. I mostly work on web applications, so I try to develop securely and also kind of keep up to times with what's actually happening in the security industry, which is why I have a Twitter account, mostly for security and diversity. So if you follow me, that's what you're going to hear about. I also have anxiety, and I do public speaking to beat my anxiety. So I have to talk a little bit about me just to relax and also tell you kind of an interesting story where I've only been in tech for a few years. I was actually in the snowboard industry for 15 years, and I have a slight accent. I'm originally from the States, and I've basically been between North America and New Zealand, and I used to do back-to-back winters. I actually met my Kiwi husband in the lift line in Wanaka, and he still works in the ski industry. So we decided to stay in New Zealand because, you know, it's beautiful. We have a family here, and this is my fur family as well. And we love to do a lot of the things around here, mountain biking and snowboarding, and, you know, it's just the lifestyle. And the lifestyle with snowboarding was fantastic, but it doesn't pay very well. So when I had a mortgage, it was a bit demoralizing because the winter season in New Zealand is only 4 months long. So I used to be in Colorado where it was 8 months long, and then I would go on holiday, but it doesn't really work here for me. So I decided, you know, to jump into it and to do a full university degree in computer science and come out the end as a software engineer. So that was 2016, so that's me graduating from university. Woo! Yay! Yay, I did it! Which was really fantastic. It was awesome to show my daughter that, you know, hey, you know, you can do it any time in life. There's quite a few things that happened to me in 2016. Basically, it all started with, it was my final year of university. I applied for a Google scholarship and won. The Google scholarship took me to Hyderabad, India, and gave me $5,000. And while I was in Hyderabad, India, I got a message saying, hey, do you want a job at Orion Health? And I was like, yes, you know, scholarship, job, yep, we're on a roll. Fantastic. So I got a job. And then when I came back, I messaged a friend of mine, and just happened to be this information security interest group, which is what this iSig is up here. And I was like, oh, that looks kind of interesting. So I messaged my friend living in Christchurch at the time, and I was like, hey, you know, do you want to go with me to this meetup tonight? And she's like, yeah, sure, sweet, let's go. So we walk in, and both of us are probably dressed similar to the way I'm dressed today, into a room of about 15 men, all dressed in black. And it was a little intimidating, and talking about something we had no idea. It was just way over our heads. But at the end, it was like a swarm. All of a sudden, we were just surrounded, and they're like, what are you doing here? How did you hear about us? And started talking to them, and it turns out that this is in Christchurch. It was the Christchurch ISIG group, and they were running their first hacker conference, the Christchurch Hacker Conference, which you see up here with the Pukiko. And we're like, hey, do you want to come along? We're like, yeah, sure, sounds great, fantastic. And kind of in that whole time, I had heard about KiwiCon. I had heard the tales of KiwiCon. I heard it was really super amazing, and that, you know, you had to go. So I used some of my scholarship money from Google to go to a hacker conference. So I went to the hacker conference in Christchurch, the first one, and then I went to KiwiCon. And when I was at KiwiCon, you know, they hand out these badges, and they have this badge challenge on them. And it's like, oh, wow, you know, what is this, you know? And you start digging into it, and you're doing router hacking. You're all of a sudden, you're following this breadcrumb trail of, you know, these really interesting things. And I was asking around people, and you start talking to people about it. So this badge challenge kind of got me solving these problems. And that's kind of the whole reason I got into programming, because I love to solve problems. And while I was there, all this stuff was going on, and everyone was talking about all these things. I'm like, how do you know all these things? And they're like, oh, Twitter. I'm like, oh, no. I don't want to be on Twitter. But I did. I caved. I'm on Twitter. but again, mostly for security and diversity. I also heard about this podcast, Risky Business. Risky Business listeners in the room? Yeah. Pat Gray's amazing. So I have a really long commute to work. I commute like an hour in and an hour out each day, which, you know, happens to be a great time to listen to podcasts. So I went way back to episode 1, and I listened to every single podcast all the way through. And I actually met Patrick this last KiwiCon, and I told him that. I was like, I got to tell you this. And so I told him that, and he's like, you're insane. Why did you do that? But what it really did for me is it gave me the lingo. Like, I started to understand what people are talking about. Him and Metal did a really good job at explaining things, you know, kind of what the gist of it is, and then also linking things so I could look it up if I was really interested in something. So that was really fantastic. And then while I was doing this, you know, it's kind of around the time that Slack was getting really big as well, and everybody had a Slack group. There's so many Slack groups, Slack channels all over the place. But I'll come back to the Slack channel thing, but the Slack channel was something that actually became a really supportive environment for me, so I'll get onto that. So after I'd gone to KiwiCon, right, all of a sudden I had my first experience of post-con blues, and this is real. People go to a con, they have a fantastic time, they're with other people, and then all of a sudden they go home and they're alone, and there's nobody, and they're sad, and believe me, it's real. So if you experience that, reach out, you know, talk to people about it. But also, I had done this badge challenge, but it was over, and I wanted to do more, and I didn't know what to do, so I was kind of looking up, you know, capture the flag, which I had heard, you know, about kind of variously, you know, over the years. And so I Googled it. I Googled capture the flag security, literally that statement. Because when I Googled capture the flag, I got a bunch of military grade capture the flags, and I didn't want to do that. So I added security, and boom. And there was this Medium post, and her name happens to be Toni Marie. My name is Toni Marie. And she had written this blog post, my first big girl capture the flag competition. And she's actually a security professional. But, you know, she kind of just got into CTFs, and this was her experience about it. And it was really important to me because representation matters. And the fact that this was coming from a woman's perspective, where she was intimidated walking into the room, she did it anyway, and she really enjoyed it, and then she wrote a really excellent, kind of beginner-friendly article about it. So I was like, all right, capture the flag, what do I do? You know? And there were comments on her post about, wow, you know, you have made this really security really approachable for me. I'd never heard about capture the flag. And approachable security is accessible security. If you make security approachable and people can access it, then people will know more about it, and it's no longer kind of this voodoo thing, like scary hacker thing, that you don't want to go anywhere near. And just for those in the room, if there's anyone that doesn't know what CTF is, so capture the flag, there's a few different styles. One style is Jeopardy style, in which it's a list of challenges that you kind of tick off the list and hack, and you get points for sometimes. And then there's also the attack and defense style, where you typically have a server that you need to protect and/or a server that you need to hack between teams. But to me, CTF is fun. That's all I need to know. There's a few categories of CTF. I won't go through them all, but you know, cryptography, steganography, like pictures and stuff. Forensics is really fun. Binary exploitation, I don't do too much of that. Programming, I'm a programmer by day, so I don't really like to do much programming when I'm hacking. But web exploitation, I like to do that a lot. Reverse engineering is really, really fun, but you tend to need a bit of some tools and some tools knowledge to do that. There's also just recon and social engineering. And then there's like the miscellaneous stuff that people kind of just put in there. I mean, like taking a picture and hiding it, you know, something in like a different hue of color, you know, that may be something that you need to capture in a flag. So it's like, great, you know, so reading this article, and it's like, maybe you should try it, you know, maybe you should try capture the flag, you know, competition. But competitions are, you know, a lot of competitions that are out there only have a certain amount of time. They're only open for 2 days, or, you know, you've only got a couple of days to do this. Or you're at a conference, and I don't know about anyone in the room, but when I go to the conference, I want to see the talks. I want to talk to people. And I find CTF, you just get stuck in just doing the CTF, and you want to solve all these things, but you're missing out on all the networking and all of the social interaction. And this was the big thing. As a developer, you know, if you know how to exploit your own application, you could understand those external threats. So it kind of goes hand in hand with being a developer. If you can be a developer and a hacker, you can have a safer application. And the first thing she listed as something to look into was the site called CTF Learn. And I'm not sponsored by CTF Learn. I actually know it's it's 2 people that do this, you know, for free or for beers or for whatever. And I was a little skeptical because, you know, anything to do with hacking, I'm skeptical. I'm scared of it. But it actually ended up being really fun. And so these 2 sites helped me out big time. So ctflearn.com was a place that you can just go and you can sign up and you can do these little CTF challenges, and they have easy, medium, hard, and then they have kind of all those categories I talked about earlier. And ctftime.org, what is really fantastic about this site is they put together a lot of CTF's write-ups. So they put together all of these things. So what this Medium post or what this blog post had done was it was just a write-up of the CTF itself, but it was done in a really, you know, a really friendly way. It wasn't too technical, and it was really easy to follow. And so this ctftime.org just works with Pico CTF and all these other types of CTF organizations and publishes write-ups for them, which is really fantastic because when you read through the write-ups, you actually learn how to exploit, and when you find a problem, you're like, hey, I've seen that problem before. I've seen a problem similar to that. Let's try this. So the first thing I would recommend is recruit some people. Get a support crew around you. So the same person that I asked to go to iSig with me to this event, I was like, hey, you want to do some challenges on the CTF site? You know, it's pretty easy to get into. You know, want to do it with me? And she's like, yeah, absolutely. Let me message so-and-so and see if he wants to be our mentor, you know, in case we get stuck on anything. And then we'll have a Slack channel. So we had a Slack channel. I was like, oh yeah, awesome. I'll see if Kevin, I'm using Kevin's name because I use Kevin's name quite often through this talk. Also, I'll see if Kevin wants to help us out. So Kevin hopped in on this channel as well. And so here we go. This is CTF Learn. Actually, this is CTF Learn version 1. There's now version 2, which I'll get to later. But I go ahead and I signed up. And at the time that I did this, I'm just in my first year of my software engineering job. I'm a mom. I have all these other committees and commitments and stuff, so I didn't have a lot of time. But what I really enjoyed about this is that I could just hop on, solve a challenge, hop off, walk away, rather than a CTF that runs for hours or days. I wasn't committing myself to anything. So sweet, I solved 14.4%, and I was in ranked number 82. And Kevin got on, and he was ranked number 87. I was like, haha, here we go. And then we started getting a little competitive. So Kevin would be like, oh, I gotta go home, and I'm gonna, do a few of these things and catch up with me. And then it kept going back and forth, and I was like, oh, I'm getting better. I'm getting better than you. And yes, I made it to the top 50. Woohoo! That was so cool. So it's a site with hundreds of people on it. So getting to the top 50 was really fun. And then Kevin came back. Damn it, Kevin. And he kept me going. He kept pushing me. And, so I was like, oh, it became addictive. It's like the thing with CTF is there is a problem to solve. A lot of times when you do bug hunting in an application, you don't know. There's a bug somewhere, and you don't really know if you're going to solve it or find it or if your solution's the right solution. This one, there's a flag. It actually says flag. This is the answer. So yeah, I just kept hitting back at Kevin. Haha, take that. And more, and just kept going. And also, there's all these other people that are doing this as well. So, people are getting ahead of us and pushing us out of the top 50. And so we kept, getting back into it. And, I was just every time every other night, just check and just make sure Kevin wasn't ahead of me. And then this was the best I got. Position number 32. I was like, yep, I only solved 27.8% of the solution of the problems, but I was at number 32. And I was like, ha, cool. So then the other thing that's great about this is I just walked away. Like, I didn't actually look at the site for a really long time. I'd gone on and done other things. My hacker seeker Santa got me 3 months of pen tester lab, so I went off and did that. My work got me secure code warrior, so I go off and do that, and kind of forgot all about this. But then when I kind of resurrected this talk, I was like, oh, I should talk about this some more. CTF Learn version 2 had come out, and there's a whole lot more people on version 2, and Kevin was ahead of me. Like, I don't know how. He's number 248, I'm 255. I was like, no way, this is not cool. So instead of working on my talk like I should have, I started doing CTF again, solving some challenges, and I was like, yeah, we're, got in the top 50 and I'm ahead of you, haha. And, just because I'm addicted to it, I went even further. So I got 8,100 points because they changed to a point system for their solutions. But it's fun. It's a good time. So I am going to actually do a live CTF right now because we know how well live demos are going right now. I'm doing this live demo, so I might change screens. I'm going to change screens, and hopefully it doesn't, go crazy. Sweet. So I'm going to start off with Finder, because Finder's easy, right? This is my computer. I understand how to use, my Finder, and I've got CTF talk demo fail, which is the screenshots, just in case things go bad. But we're going to start with this cryptography one, ASCII to text, and it says, here you go. And you look at it, and it says, this is not going to be fun at the very top. And then it just has a big blah. And as we learned from Louis' talk just now, that looks a lot like base 64. And so, yeah, I was like, sweet, all right, this is not going to be fun. All right, let's go ahead and let's just open this up. And we'll copy this. And the coolest thing about this is there's a lot of online tools, right? So one online tool I found that's really fun is this one, ASCII to hex. All right, sweet. And it has ASCII, binary, hexadecimal, ooh, base 64, what I need. So I'm going to paste that in there, and I'm going to hit convert. And it's going to work. Oh, all right, nice. Now keep going. Damn. All right, so I'm going to copy all this, try to copy all this. And so I'm looking through, and I'm like, all right, there's numbers and there's a few letters, so maybe it's looking at all these. Maybe it's hexadecimal. So I'm going to paste it in there, and I'm going to convert. What do you got? 2 more. Oh, jeez. Well, I am a programmer, so I should know that's binary. But you never know. So let's go here and convert. All right, come on. Finally, hey, we're back to base 64, and that's a nice short one, so that just might be what I'm looking for. Oh, don't hit enter, hit convert. Yay, CTF, flag, I am proud of you. All right. So that was literally one of the first problems I solved. It was so much fun. I was like, this is cool. I want to try another one of those. So I went back into cryptography, and I saw substitution text, and I saw this bleh. And I was like, what the heck is that? So typically in CTF, they give you a clue, where they're kind of like the name might be a clue, or something might be the clue. So if you copy all that, and then if you go to search, you can find a substitution solver. And look, you just input some ciphertext. And this is all about being curious. It's just trying new things. I don't know, it's not language German, but whatever. And I just want to break the cipher. So what does it do? And it's working. And the very first line says the flag is, if only modern crypto was like this. Cool, that's the flag, that's it. That's all you had to do. All right, let's move on to something else. So that was cryptography. And then here's steganography, really hard to say. All right, so that's where so if a redhead goes crazy, is it called ginger snaps? Sorry, Carrot. The picture you just open it up. I don't see anything. I don't check it out. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to check out the terminal. And can everyone read that in the back? Yay. Yep. Woohoo. I've got some friends in the audience. Always pack your audience with friends. So hi, friends. You. All right. So I'm in my, let's see, I'm going to LS. So I'm going to list what's in my directory. I've got CTF stuff, CTF talk demo, and CTF talk demo fail. Let's not go there. And I'm going to CD into CTF, not that it, CTF talk demo. And what's we got in here? All right, steganography. Let's look at this one. So I'm going to CD into the steganography. And it's just a JPEG. So really fun tip is that when I was looking at, hold on, my presentation. There. So when I was looking at my presentation, all right, when I was looking at that Medium post, she listed a bunch of commands in the command line to use. And it's really fun because you're just like, all right, cat, strings, file, unzip. I'm pretty sure I know what that does. Git log, git show. Yep, I'm a developer. I use Git, so that's okay. I understand that, but it has some really good reading material on it if you don't understand that. Cool. So I was like, all right, well, let's just use cat, the first one on the list, and see what that does. And it's a bunch of gibberish. Oh dear. No. All right. So, all right. The next one, which is the most helpful one I've found in the world, is strings. And does anyone see the flag? Done. Wow, data's cool. All right, sweet. Solve that one. Moving on. And then we'll get to the right screen. All right, so that was fun. So that was steganography. Now I'm going to look at, what? This one's the flag PDF, and it is encrypted. So I'm going to back out of this one and look at the forensics file. And so I've got the flag and the password. Oh, I've got the password there, right? Sweet. So if I say strings, the password, nice job. The password is I'm the flag. All right. So let's go into this one. I'm just going to copy and paste so I don't get it wrong. So let's go into this one. I'm the flag. Whoa, that's it. Sweet. All right, another sweet few points to get ahead of Kevin. That was fantastic. And let's do something a little more fun. So I'm going to get back out of that, and I'm going to go, whoops, back into CD2, forensics, and yep, the flag. So the flag doesn't have anything, so I'm going to have a look at the flag, and it is a directory. Okay, so let's CD into, oh, sorry, wrong one. Let's CD back out. I'm in the wrong forensics file. CD into 3. All right. And, all right, 3 forensics. Yeah, sorry, getting there. Live demos are hard, right? All right, so I'm in there. This one has the flag.zip, so I'm going to unzip it because, you know, why wouldn't you? There is a bit of paranoia that comes along when you're hacking and you're like, should I really unzip this on my computer? I don't know, probably not. And which is why I don't use my work computer, so at least I can just redo this one. So sweet, I see CD, I see the CD, I've unzipped the file and I see the flag, and so I'm going to go into the flag and dot the, sorry, CD, the flag, and dot. Does everyone know what dot files are? It's when they're hidden. They actually are, some of them are hidden. It's pretty sweet. I didn't know that at the time. And the password text. Sweet. So now I've got the flag there. And if I do a strings on the flag, almost. Oh, no, can't do that. I do. So if I look at the flag, you know, like sane person, it says a directory, so CD into it. Thank you. Now let's see. Oh, there's a PDF. Well, all right. Well, I'm going to try strings on that one. And doesn't really help me, does it? But I have this handy dandy finder. So now if I look in the flag and I open it up, oh, it's that flag. Yeah. But for the sake of time, we're going to move on. Because the other thing you have to learn in CTF is to move on. It's really important. Because otherwise, you're up until 3 in the morning and your family hates you. So I'm going to get back out because I have one more really fun one that I want to do before my talk ends, and so you guys can all get to lunch. Which is the programming one, I think. Ah, yes. So this is really fun. All right. So we'll go to Finder, and it comes with a picture. All right. Sweet. Didn't really find out too much about the picture, except if I do strings on its crumpin' time, realistically, the Simpsons would use octal instead of decimal. So it's a programming challenge. But what else have I got? I've got get is good and get is good zip. So technically, I've already unzipped this file. So I went ahead and unzipped the get is good. So let's cd into a get, and let's see what we've got. Flag.txt. All right. So let's strings on flag.txt. That's redacted. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. Well, this is where some really clever git log action happens. So this gets a little more into it. Here's git log. Hey, look, this person's got their git log and their email up there. And the other one is I can actually look at what this commit was. So git show and say D. This one we'll cut and paste. We'll do this one. All right. Whoa. So there's the flag. Protect your git. All right. Fantastic. All right, that's it for the live demo. That's got all the flags. Yay. So those are some really simple techniques, and I had heaps of fun on it and really got me interested in security. If you are new to CTFs and you're interested in it, Google it. There's heaps of things out there, something that you will find that you enjoy. Also, Twitter is, InfoSec is on Twitter, sorry. But also Slack channels, make sure you have a support group, right? Because you're hitting walls all the time and not everyone's an expert in everything. So get that support. CTFlearn.com has challenges, ctftime.org has write-ups. Join your local ISIG groups, your local OWASP groups. You'll actually, it's fun to hang around with people that have the same passion as you. Attend security conferences. Christchurch Hacker Conference this year, come on. And if you have any, if you want to ask me anything about being a woman in tech, being a woman in security, being a beginner in security, being a developer in security, just feel free to DM me on Twitter. For the pros in the audience, I saw this a while ago and it really resonated with me. Please be the person that you needed when you got into security. And you can do this by supporting your local ISIGs, your conferences, attending, sponsoring, speaking, be at the badge challenges, do write-ups. Like if you're good at writing, some people are not great at talking but great at writing, do write-ups, share it. Open source, so the CTF Learn is open source. If you want to help out, they've got a big banner on their site saying please help. Support those people that are just starting out on Twitter, support people in Slack groups, try and mentor if you can. It's not all the time, I don't do this all the time, but it's really important. Like I said, my company did Secure Code Warrior, and it's actually, I've learned a lot from it. I really enjoy it. And then my Hacker Secret Santa got me Pen Tester Labs, and again, there's times it goes way over my head, and then I switch and do a different challenge. Like, it's just very cool. And support OWASP, because it is there for you. And I just want to say thank you to these groups for supporting me. If you want more women in the room, if you want more women in the office, if you want more women in general, ask. just say, hey, you want to come join us? You know, be friendly and hang out. So I really appreciate it. And thank you. That's me.